Good morning. I'm Major Michael Dieppe of the Miami-Dade Public Safety Training Institute. Standing in the back of the room are Officers Monica Rios and Will Marti, the training advisors for Basic Law Enforcement Class 118. On behalf of the Miami-Dade Police Department and Director Juan Perez, in a second I will present to you BLE 118. But before, I just wanted to bring up three things that separate this class from every other, a little bit of special recognition for this class in particular. When this class started the academy, not too long after, we were hit with Hurricane Irma, which had a big impact on Miami-Dade County. The training facility was one of the hardest areas hit, and thanks to the help of all the recruits in BLE 118, we began a debris clearing process that ended up clearing over 18,000 cubic yards of debris so they could continue their education and graduate on time. After that, as they grew in their class, they decided as a group to volunteer to do a community service event in the South District, volunteering on their own time to go out there and show that MDPD officers care even before they're sworn. And then finally, last Friday, we went on a 5-mile pride run on Key Biscayne, over and back across the William Powell Bridge 2 times. No easy task, and many of them were wondering if they could do it, but they all finished as a class. So with that, if I can get a big standing ovation for this class. Training advisors, present your class. Will everyone remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem? Honor Guard, please present the colors.
Lift, 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 right. Lift, 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 right. Lift, 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 right. Mark time. Mark. Live, pick. Detail. Hold.
Will class member Benjamin Gross please come forward for the Pledge of Allegiance?
All uniform personnel, present. Oh!
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Oh!
Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
All uniform personnel, present. Oh!
Everyone please remain standing. Would Deacon Thomas Hanlon please come forward for the invocation?
Let us bow our heads and pray for God's blessing. Father God, we give you thanks today for the opportunity to gather in the spirit of public safety. We are all individuals with different faiths, beliefs, and convictions. However, we come today with a common spirit, a higher spirit, a spirit dedicated to professional growth within law enforcement. Many are called to serve. Few are called to protect, as these officers who graduate today are asked to do. Please guide these men and women who are graduating this day. Help them to develop and grow in strength, wisdom, and compassion within law enforcement. We pray for those who have been called to protect the freedom this community enjoys by serving in the Miami-Dade Police Department. We pray for all police officers and staff, but specifically for the men and women who take on new responsibilities today. In his name we pray. Amen.
Honor Guard, please retire the colors.
Honor guard. Mark time. Mark. Forward. Mark. Lift. 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 Right. Lift. 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 Right. Lift. 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 Right. Lift. Lift. Lift.
There are several special people who have come here today to see your family members graduate. We have people from the community, law enforcement personnel from other agencies, honored guests, and fellow members of the Miami-Dade Police Department's command staff. Thank you all for being here today on this very special occasion, and also a special thanks to Commissioner Daniela Levine-Cava, who's representing Miami-Dade County's elected officials. Major Samuel Bronson is going to be our guest speaker this morning, and I'd like to tell you a few things about him. When I got his bio yesterday, it wasn't the normal bio that I normally read. I had to take a couple minutes to go over and figure out what we were going to say here, but I'm going to go with what we have. This is a man who needs no introduction, mainly because we have some debt collectors and ex-wives in the audience who might be looking for him. His booming voice is a deadly weapon and must be regulated by the federal government. His passion for life has inspired many, including what I hear a Lifetime movie might be in the works. This guy is so bad, he once rode his motorcycle from Miami Gardens to Opelika, 1 mile, the whole time with no hands though. He's personally backhanded over 1 million mosquitoes, single-handedly protecting the residents of South District from the Zika virus. And I hear his gym routine is so bad it inspired Schwarzenegger. But on a serious note, this gentleman started his career with the Metro-Dade Police Department several decades ago, let's say 3, and is here today to pass on some wisdom to the graduating class and to some of us in the audience. Please give a warm welcome to my good friend, the South District Commander, Major Samuel O. Bronson.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm going to make this real quick because this is not in the script, but I got a presentation, just quick presentations, and one is for the class leader, Welch. Class leader Welch, we know that it was very difficult for you to lead this class, but you've shown your leadership early in this department. So I have a book for you. It's a book that revolutionized my life. It's called Blessed and Unstoppable. It's by Billy Alsbrook. And this will be waiting on you. This will be waiting on you when it's all said and done, okay? One of the training advisors? And then I have just one for the audience. From law enforcement from New York. Can you come up here, sir? Thank you. Thank you. Let's give him a hand as he comes. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. I want you to take this, and when you get back to your seat, give it to the lady to your right.
Sure.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you. All right. That's a champ. That's a champ. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I have 2 speeches prepared for this occasion. One is for ceremonies and one is for celebrations. But now I have to warn you, the ceremony speech is rather dull and boring, but the celebration speech can be exciting. So I'm going to need you to indulge me. By a clap of hands, how many want to hear the boring speech? All right. Well, by a clap of hands, how many want to hear the exciting speech? How many of you don't care what speech? Just hurry up and sit down. All right. Okay. It is indeed a pleasure to be here. And like you, I'm very, very excited for these 41 Police Academy graduates and what this accomplishment means to them, their families, as well as what it means to the Miami-Dade Police Department and every citizen in Miami-Dade County. Now, let me just take this moment to thank my dear brother, Major Dieppe, for such a fine and kind introduction. You know, anytime that someone has something nice to say about you, it's one of those introductions that you can listen to all day, and for a minute there he had me thinking I was going to have to. Okay, now I know many of you, if not all of you, have a vested interest in these 41 graduates. But even the interest that you have, at the pinnacle of your interest, it still remains a scientific fact that 10% of you won't remember 10% of what I said 10 minutes after I said it. So now with those glaring odds stacked against me, I'll be brief. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told all 3 of my ex-wives. I ain't going to keep you long. Yes. That's what I told them. Okay. All right. Hey, listen, I'm very humble. I'm very humble and honored to have been asked to speak on behalf of the academy class. It's just such excitement that comes along with it. Now, Major Dieppe has basically provided you some excerpts of who I am. Let me tell you who I'm not. I'm not a dancer, I'm not a singer, I'm not a preacher, I'm not an intellect. In fact, it was me and one other person that finished at the lower half of my high school class. And because we had that in common, she became my girlfriend. That's right. You see, ladies and gentlemen, if it had not been for her and I, it would not have been an upper half of the class. But here's what happened. Here's what happened. Well, at this particular time, I went to school for one reason, to eat my lunch. That's it. I went to school for one reason, to eat my lunch. But I began to experience a transformation process when my loving parents perpetually instilled in me that you become what you exchange your time for, and that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have got to get started to be great. Anybody agree with that? Absolutely. It was Aristotle. You heard me say that you have to be great to get started. It was Aristotle who said that we are what we repeatedly do. We are what we repeatedly do. So therefore, excellence is not an act, but it's a habit. It's a habit. Now, I stand before you today declaring that as a result of the prayers of my mother and the guidance of my father, I stand before you and I look through the lenses of a champion. See, if you were like I was, champions are not only discovered in competition, champions are also discovered in the lifestyle of individuals. Champions are also discovered in the lifestyle of individuals. Now, I congratulate this academy class on completing their academy training, and now that they have completed all of the requirements, I am going to share with them some practical principles and some methods that will help elevate their success to significance. You might ask, what is the difference between success and significance? Well, when you're successful and you're no longer around, it all comes to an end. But when you are significant, that means that your influence has ignited the desire in someone else to pursue success on their way to significance. So that's the difference. Significance will cause someone else to have what it is that you have. Significance then becomes the breeding ground for establishment of legacies. It was Horace Mann who said that you should be ashamed to die until you have left some social contribution to mankind. BLE 118, let me tell you what I know about you, and I just met you. You are blessed, highly favored, and you are a champion. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, God, the creator of all things, had a plan in place to prosper you and to give you hope and a future. That means that greater is he that is for you than he that is against you. And everything you need to be a champion is already inside of you. So BLE 118, let me ask you, who are you?
A champion, sir!
Are you certified, bona fide, and indubitably qualified?
Ooh, yeah!
Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. Very good. Now, let me just share a few things that you need to know about champions. Champions never do things to make themselves happy. They do things that make themselves great. Champions never downgrade their dreams to fit their current status. They upgrade their convictions to match their destiny. See, champions don't focus on the penalties of failure. They look towards the rewards of success. See, you need to know that champions buy into the concept of good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Now, some of you by now might be saying, but listen, that motivational jumbo gumbo doesn't last. And you're right, but neither does bathing. But they tell you to do it every day. That's right. That's right. That's right. It is recommended every day, no doubt about it. It is. It is. Now, something else that you need to know, that champions are people that also understand that there are different laws that govern our lives. And you'll get no argument from me that some laws are more difficult to obey than others. See, when you consider that you have federal laws, state laws, county laws, corporate laws, bylaws, in-laws, and outlaws, I think you get the picture. I think you get the picture. Some laws are just difficult than others. Okay? Yeah, no doubt. But now, living the life of a champion, you only need to focus on 3 laws. Only 3. And they're not complicated. You don't have to complicate life. Did you know that there were only 5 original colors? Only 5. Look what Michelangelo did with those colors. Look what Michelangelo did with those 5 colors. Did you know there were only 7 musical notes? Look what Beethoven did with those musical notes. Did you know there was only 10 numbers? Look what Bernie Madoff did with those 10 numbers. I didn't say it was all good. I just say keep life simple. Keep life simple. Okay? Keep life simple. Now, the first law you need to know to live the lifestyle of a champion is this. It's called the do-right law. See, it's never a right time to do the wrong thing and never a wrong time to do the right thing. When you do what's right, you reveal integrity, which coincidentally happens to be the distinguishing characteristic of the Miami-Dade Police Department. Now, integrity reveals character, and character reveals hope. Now, those who exhibit integrity will always find themselves doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It was Abraham Lincoln that said that character is like a tree and reputation is shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, but the tree is the real deal. Now, the second law that you need to know and to live the lifestyle of a champion is to do your very best. See, when you do your very best, you reveal commitment. When your actions are indicative of commitment, challenges are obligated by universal law to concede to your energy, enthusiasm, and efforts, as well as your determination, dedication, and desire to achieve excellence. Commitment is also the byproduct of passion. And whenever you got a passion to win, you forget all the reasons why you can't. Now, it's important that you listen at the third one because this is an issue, this is a problem that most of us face. The third and final law, and perhaps the most important, not perhaps the most important, the most important, but the most difficult to perform is to show people that you care. To show people that you care. It was Kara Buckner who said that people might not remember what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. In order to show people that you care, someone or something must become the object for your love. Now, I'm not talking about a love that is derived from what we call that desire to just have one person or that affectionate desire to just have a person, but I am talking about the love that derives from your desire to seek the well-being of everyone. See, but the problem we face is that love has fallen on hard times. Stevie Wonder sang a song that said, "Love is in need of love." Love is in need of love, and that's because love, I'm telling you, love takes work. Love takes effort. Love takes what we call a self-discipline. Love will always require sacrifices. Love will always require sacrifices. In fact, sacrifices are attached to love the way goodness and mercy are attached to you and I. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, love is still the most powerful word in any language. In any language. Love will be the only thing that will bring healing to the ills in our society. Love will build a hedge of protection around our children and allow teachers to be teachers. So remember those they're the most important, three of the most important laws that you will ever come into contact with. Do what's right, do your very best, and show people that you care. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I might have gone over the little time that I shared that with you. I promise you that I will be brief. but that's your fault because you've been so kind and so receptive. That's your fault. It is. But I say this, that God has blessed me with 2 ears and 1 mouth, which means to me that you ought to be willing to listen twice as much as you speak. And I'm going to adhere to that advice and close by saying this. BLE 118. If you want something bad enough, then you go out and fight for it. Work day and night for it. Give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all you dreamed and schemed is about it, life will seem useless and worthless without it. And if you're willing to sweat for it, fret for it, and lose your fear of the opposition for it, and go after what you want with all your strength and sagacity, faith, confidence, and firm pertinacity, you will besiege and beset it. And with the help of God, you will get it. God bless you and protect you throughout your career in Miami-Dade Police Department. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Major Bronson. Before I call the class leader up, I do want to acknowledge 2 other members of BLE 118, and they're not actually sitting to my right, they're sitting to my left. When you've been around as long as these 2 gentlemen have, we recycle numbers. But can I recognize Chief Charles Nanny and Major Ray Melcon as 2 OGs, original graduates of BLE 118. Now, will class leader Christopher Welch please come forward for the class address?
Good morning, everyone. Before I start, I would like to welcome and thank the director and the command staff for their attendance this morning. I would also like to thank the Miami-Dade Police Department for affording us this opportunity. We stand on the cusp of becoming police officers with one of the most prestigious law enforcement agencies in the southeastern United States. We realize that this is a highly selective and rigorous process. There were many applicants who applied and were not afforded this opportunity. We stand before you proud and thankful this morning, knowing that we have made the best of our opportunity. I'd also like to take the time out to thank the friends and family who are in attendance this morning. If not for your dedication and constant encouragement, I'm positive that this day would not have happened. So with that said, give yourselves a round of applause. Grit, determination, and discipline. A few of the character qualities needed in order to succeed in life and law enforcement. The ability to weather the storm or to stand in the face of adversity and say, I belong. Projecting confidence in a challenging situation when inwardly it's not adding up. Leaving it all out on the line and leaving nothing to chance. Trial by fire, but persevering nonetheless. That's BLE 118. We can't take this day for granted because we've sacrificed so much of ourselves to arrive at this point. BLE 118 started on July 24, 2017. Most of us came to know each other beforehand through orientation and WhatsApp, where we discussed what it would be like the first day of the academy. Some of us had prior experience by way of occupation, and some of us served in the United States military. We applied ourselves the best way we knew how to prepare for the first day, and although we had a great deal of mishaps, I believe that our training advisors were impressed by our ability to work together even from the onset. As the academy progressed, we experienced our fair share of growing pains and setbacks. We lost a few individuals academically, and I came to understand the burden and benefit of being the class leader, a position that requires maximum participation, effort, and includes a great deal of responsibility. I can't thank our training advisors enough for their guidance, energy, and effort. The way we've progressed from the first day until today has been my greatest takeaway, because I've come to realize that this job requires the collective. The success of this organization isn't dependent on any one person. It's a collection of people with varying strengths, abilities, and gifts. There are individuals in this class who are extremely creative, intelligent, athletic, proficient in terms of firearms, vehicles, and defensive tactics. And we all needed each other at some point during the academy to make it to today. As I conclude, I'd like us to remember as we begin our careers that despite our differences, we are stronger together than when we stand divided. As we venture out into our respective communities to forge partnerships through service, I'd like us to remember that people matter, communication matters, and most importantly, you matter. For we are traveling a road desired by many but walked by few. We are truly a part of a family, not an adversary of the community, but a family. I'd like to thank the class for having me as their class leader, my class leadership for their support, specifically Carl Narcisse and Benjamin Gross for their words of wisdom, encouragement, and for being constant sources of entertainment. Again, I'd like to thank you all for your support during this process and for your continued support in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Class Leader Welch. Would Director Juan Perez please come forward for the director's comments?
Good morning. You know, this probably has to be, I've been through a lot of these graduations, but this probably has to be the most difficult one. You know, because it started off with the keynote speaker, Major Bronson, right? And when they introduced him, I thought he was Irish because they introduced him as Samuel O. Bronson. So, son, it's Major O. Bronson. So the Irish guy walks up to me and he whispers something to me, and I'm sure you guys heard, or you saw him, right? And he said, "Sir, can I let them have it?" And I said yes. And then when the speech started, I regretted it every moment of the way. I did not know where there was going. And then following him, we have the class leader. And I have to tell you that he spoke so eloquent and from the heart. But, you know, to follow him and what he said, the experience that he had with his class, the way that he expressed himself so eloquently, and then with a practical joker. And he finished up with something about entertained, or for some of his classmates, entertained them. So I believe you were entertained already, right? But my question to you is this. Forget about being entertained. We have 41 individuals right here that I do not believe they have heard from you, our audience, our families, our guests. Are you not inspired by them? That's what I'm talking about. We can sit up here all day behind the mic and talk about different things, and we can have laughs and sometimes tears up here depending on the speech. But nobody can inspire you as new recruits that are willing to put their lives on the lines for all of us. Now, before I hit my speech, I'm going to talk about this department. And I know there's a lot of police agencies around, but I'm going to focus on this department, in my opinion, that this department is the best department in the United States of America. Now, I know others are here, and they would want to debate me on that. But I say to those others, number one, there's a lot more of us here today than are you. Just for today. We are the largest in Southeast United States, but in our presence we have NYPD. But I remind them they are New York's finest, and we are Miami-Dade's finest. They have great capabilities. They have the largest police department in the world. They've been compared, if you compare the number of officers they have to all the armies around the world, armies, they are the 8th largest army in the world. They have extraordinary measures, capabilities, and everything. But you know what? They have a foot of snow in New York right now, and he is so glad to be here with us. We welcome you to our state, to our county, without earmuffs and gloves. I hope you enjoy the weather before you have to head back. Good morning to all the guests, fellow law enforcement members, and BLE 118. I thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Miami-Dade Police Department. I cannot emphasize enough the level of humbleness by which I stand before you today. Every day as I awaken and I prepare for the rigors of this job, I think about the blessings in my life. I thank God for the opportunity to lead this agency. I am grateful for every challenge before me. Whether it is fighting violence, hurricane responses, or collapsed bridges. I stand confident to face the challenges, but not confidence because it's a reflection on me. The confidence is a symptom of the army of guardians that stand with me, ready to face the challenges. Our police department always stands ready to encounter any challenge. The men and women of this agency have made it a habit to excel under extreme conditions and any circumstance. This agency rises to the top during the most difficult of times. This agency has built a reputation of grooming leaders at all levels and ranks. Today, we are ready to further groom BLE 118 as the new leaders that will hit the streets of Miami-Dade County. BLE 118 has endured the stresses of our academy for 9 months, or almost 9 months, but the real journey will begin soon enough. A few of the recruits bring some experience from other agencies, but for most, the journey is new and will certainly challenge their perseverance and their determination. And from the class leader, his own words, challenge their ability to be disciplined. No other profession takes you on a journey like law enforcement. More importantly, no other law enforcement agency takes you on a journey like the one you will find right here with your Miami-Dade Police Department. We tend to take our department for granted, but make no mistake about it. This is the greatest law enforcement agency. All right, down here anyways. The level of personal knowledge, experience, and training gained by a police officer in this agency cannot be replicated by any other. You, the recruits, BLE 118, will now embark on a special journey in a special department. The expectations are high, the demands are even higher. The community will look for you to be perfect at all times. The community will expect that you will have courage under fire, yet compassion in moments of despair. You will be expected to face an active school shooter, yet negotiate the surrender of a perpetrator. You will be expected to face death in the eyes, yet show no signs of fear. No longer can we rely on serving and protecting. We now are expected to be mentors, teachers, nurses, psychologists, counselors, firefighters, guardians, warriors, and so much more, all in a day's work. You are expected to be the modern-day police officer. And despite the great demands, this is still the greatest profession. BLE 118, I believe you are ready to face the demands as you become Miami-Dade police officers. Along with all those expectations, we still face more danger than ever. At the same time, we are certainly scrutinized more than ever before. This year, law enforcement line of duty deaths sits at 32. Of those, 18 were killed by gunfire. 1 was assaulted with a vehicle. 1 was beat to death. And although those incidents happened elsewhere, every law enforcement death impacts the entire nation, and it scars all of us. As police officers, we use those moments of mourning to feed our appetites to fight crime. We are cops, and that is what we do. Right now, as we sit in the comfort of this auditorium, think about that. At this very moment, some officer is responding to a crisis. Some officer is facing a life and death situation. Some officer is in a scuffle. Some officer across this nation is facing a gun. Guarantee you, no other profession is facing that at this moment, right now as we speak. BLE 118, you will face dangerous situations. In the middle of the night, when most are sleeping, you will face darkness. Not the darkness caused by the night, but caused by evil. And daylight, when most are working, you will still face darkness, because evil lurks at night as well as in the daylight. Evil has no boundaries or sense of time. I believe George Orwell's quote states it best. People sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men, and now rough women, stand ready to do violence on their behalf. BLE 118 is ready to stand to protect our community as we sleep, as we work, or as our kids go to school. They stand ready to do the work that others are not willing to do. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
BLE 118, remember this profession is a calling from God. As such, Joshua 1:9 reads, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Realize that you are doing God's work here on earth. God prevails over evil. You are doing the good that will prevail over evil. I thank you for joining this profession and following your calling. Your community thanks you. More importantly, your family and friends thank you. Don't forget about them, your family. You will need them to carry you through the challenges of this profession. Don't forget to tell them how you feel on every possible occasion. Too often, officers depart without saying appropriate goodbye. Too often, it may be the last opportunity. Don't squander the moment. Don't wait to be in the foxhole to send the message. Cherish your family and your friends before you face the danger. BLE 118, I am proud of this agency because of the men and women that make it up. Now you make it up. You make up this agency. I am proud of you. Your community is proud of you. As you progress in your profession, always stand by our core values of integrity, respect, fairness, and service. Remember that we are the thin blue line standing between good and evil. BLE 118, make us proud today, tomorrow, and in the future. May God bless you and protect you. You inspire me and you inspire them. Congratulations on your achievements so far. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, BLE 118, are you not inspired by them? Thank you for choosing this agency. Thank you for wanting to make a difference from the bottom of my heart. This is not an easy job. This truly is a calling. It truly is a calling. We have tremendous responsibility to this community, to your family, to your friends. Out of the most important thing that I said there, that 10%, I got to repeat some of the things because my brother here said 10% is all they remember. And if you're going to remember 10%, remember the part about the family. They need a hand of applause right now, guys. You guys need to applaud them for coming out to support you. Do they not? Too often, remember that part about too often. If you leave to work without saying what you have to say, without portraying that message, without showing somebody you care for them, when you are under fire, where you're in the foxhole, pinned down, you're in the trenches, it may be too late to send that message. Don't wait for that moment. Show them that you care. You all have to show them that you care, that you support them. Stand by them. You know that the 8.5 months that they've been entrenched in this has been very difficult. It's going to continue to be as difficult when they hit the streets of Miami-Dade. Trust me when I tell you, in 28 years of doing this, it's not gotten any easier. It is getting more difficult day by day. So I commend you for coming on this profession. I am proud that you chose this agency. Godspeed to all of you. Godspeed to the family that came to support them from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Perez. The big moment. It's now time for the presentation of the badges. Law enforcement officers and military personnel in uniform wishing to take a picture with Director Perez, please come forward when your family member is presented with their badge. Officers Rios and Marti, please come forward.
Right, face.
Armani Adams.
I was just kidding about the greatest agency.
Janelle Angulo. Alexander Assi. Michael Balboa. Steven Vaquero.
Did you get a good one? You have a series of those.
Chardonnay Bias. Jaden Budka. Camilo Cota. Giovanni Cruz.
Left face. Seat.
Second row, attention. Right face.
Rodner Demestein. Edgar Diaz. Ernesto Duarte. Daniel Egues. Ashley Espinosa. Ryan Garcia.
So proud of you. So are we. Love you, Ryan.
Melanie Janoris.
Hold on one second. We got to get this.
Luis Gomez.
Left face. Seats.
Third row, attention. Right face.
Benjamin Gross.
Director, thank you.
Alejandro Hernandez.
So Dad tells him, congrats, now you can buy your own groceries. That ain't right.
Eddie Hernandez.
Forget about that.
Remind me of the pictures after.
Yes. Frankie Jean-Louis. Oh, yes. Sean Jean-Pierre. Hallelujah. Joseph Lewis.
Hey, your daughter's coming. Hey, the little girls. Oh, she'll get you after.
Leopold Louis. Jamaica Mallard.
You go, girl. Left, right, seats.
Fourth row, attention. Right face.
Johanna Martinez. Stephen McGuire. Adriana Mederos. Diego Mendoza. Wilbur Mesa. Carl Henry Narcisse. Ryan Perez.
I got it. I'm okay.
Vanessa Perez.
Left face. Seats.
Attention. White face.
Jennifer Pedezwa. Joseph Rodriguez. Excuse me.
You just got one guy, the entire department. That's it.
Janet Romero.
Damn, you got some uniform people. Wide lens.
Nathan Samuels. Rodney St. Louis. Earl Walters. Christopher Welch. Clinton Williams.
Class leader. Get him an attention. Good?
Class, attention!
It's not official until we get this over with. It's a long graduation. We're like keeling over here. The guys over here in the front were dying. You guys ready? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You sure? Yes, sir. I don't know. You ready?
Yes, sir!
Right hand up. And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect. I'm going to say it again. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. We're going to start. Loosen up. Loosen up. Right. You're going to repeat after me when I tell you, right? You got to repeat everything I say when I tell you to start. Right. Put your right hand. Don't repeat this. Put your right hand up. And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
that I will support.
that I will support,
Protect and defend.
protect, and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
And the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida,
That I am duly qualified.
that I am duly qualified
To hold office under.
to hold office under
The Constitution of the state.
the Constitution of the state,
And that I will well. And faithfully perform.
and faithfully perform
The duties of the office.
the duties of the office
Of Metropolitan Deputy Sheriff.
of Metropolitan Deputy Sheriff
And Miami-Dade Police Officer.
and Miami-Dade police officers.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Director Perez. Will all certified law enforcement officers, most of you already are, please stand. And then will Officer Sean Jean-Pierre please come forward for the Code of Ethics. And we're only going to ask for certified law enforcement personnel to remain standing while he reads this.
As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression, or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others, honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life. I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize this badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Jean-Pierre. Will everyone please stand? Will Rabbi David Weberman please come forward for the benediction?
Our Father in heaven, as we are gathered to recognize and honor those graduating, we pray that you, O Lord, bless them with a sense of commitment and devotion to the purpose of maintaining a safe, secure, law-abiding environment in our county. The eagle on the Great Seal of the United States carries an olive branch on one side, an arrow on the other side. Your responsibility will be to serve as angels of judgment, to use the arrow when necessary, and to be angels of mercy, to use the olive branch when necessary. Bless them with wisdom to make intelligent decisions and with courage to carry them out without fear or hesitation. May they go onward and upward from strength to greater strength in the chosen profession. May in the future our country be spared from violence and tragedy. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Weberman. Everyone please be seated.
Class, seat.
At the beginning of a police officer's shift, the officer is placed into service. At this time, our new officers will be ceremoniously placed into service with the signal 09.
Class, attention! Right, face!
Attention all units, the following officers are now checking into service. Officer Armani Adams, badge number 6609. Officer Janelle Angulo, badge number 6. Officer Alexandre Assi, badge number 801. Officer Michael Balboa, badge number 619309. Officer Stephen Papero, badge number 655009. Officer Chardonnay Bias, badge number 655109. Officer Hayden Luca, badge number 655209. Officer Camilo Cota, badge number 655609. Officer Giovanni Cruz, badge number 655709. Officer Rodner Demustein, badge number 655909. Officer Edgar Diaz, badge number 656009. Officer Ernesto Duarte, badge number 859709. Officer Daniel Egues, badge number 6569. Officer Ashley Espinosa, badge number 656309. Officer Ryan Garcia, badge number 656609. Officer Melanie Lawrence, badge number 656709. Officer Luis Gomez, badge number 685009. Officer Benjamin Gross, badge number 657009. Officer Alejandro Hernandez, badge number 657709. Officer Eddie Hernandez, badge number 619409. Officer Frankie G. Luis, badge number 620209. Officer Sean John Pierre, badge number 659109. Officer Joseph Lewis, badge number 659809. Officer Leopold Lewis, badge number 659509. Officer Jamaica Matters, badge number 817309. Officer Johanna Martinez, badge number 65. Officer Stephen McGuire, badge number 6599. Officer Adriana Mederos, badge number 660009. Officer Diego Mendoza, badge number 660209. Badge number 660309. Officer Carl Henry Narcisse, badge number 6609. Officer Ryan Perez, badge number 660509. Officer Vanessa Perez, badge number 860909. Officer Jennifer Padeswa, badge number 812449. Officer Joseph Rodriguez, badge number 660709. Officer Janet Romero, badge number 620509. Officer Nathan Samuels, badge number 860109. Officer Rodney St. Louis, badge number 621309. Officer Earl Walters, badge number 621809. Officer Christopher Welch, badge number 60809. Officer Clinton Williams, badge number 621409. Date time.
Class leader, we have 37,000 brothers and sisters in New York that want to hear you sound off, so take charge of your class.
Class, face! BLE 118! Let me hear it! Loud, stronger, stronger still. Together we fight, we never yield. Who are we? BLE 118, great!
On behalf of the Miami-Dade Police Department, we thank you for attending.